Good Monday morning. It's kind of dark out. Oh, I can see the sunrise through the trees. It's beautiful, just the colors peeking up out there. So Wednesday is the autumnal equinox here in the northern hemisphere, but it's the beginning of spring in the southern hemisphere. That means there's a balance of daylight hours and nighttime hours. The daylight hours being the more active yang energy, and the nighttime hours being the more introverted, feminine, quiet yin energy. I'd like to do a breath practice with you today called alternate nostril breathing. Nadi Shogna is what we call it in Sanskrit. So nadis are the pathways in the body that the energy travels through. In Chinese medicine, we call those meridians. Now, meridians and nadis are different in numbers, especially in numbers. There are 72,000 nadis in the body. According to Indian philosophy, Indian medicine, and there are 12 major meridians in Chinese medicine, so similar but different. But Nadi Shogna is balancing the breath. So there is a way to do this with a mudra, a hand mudra. And for this practice, I'm going to sit right here in front of the camera so you can see a little closer. Now, the mudra is called Vishnu Mudra. So if you take your hand and just the first two fingers, bring those fingers wherever they land on your palm, and you'll be turning your hand this way towards your face. So I will not be using this mudra because I have a tremor, and when I start to get real close in my movements, my tremor gets worse, and I can feel the tremor and it's distracting. So I'll probably just use fingers on either side of the nose. But if you'll take your fingertips and feel the bone here, and then find where that bone ends, and it's just nostril. So that's where you're going to place the fingers, the thumb here, and then these two last fingers, little finger and ring finger, will go on the left side. So right side is thumb, left side, little finger and ring finger. These two fingers either in your palm for Vishnu Mudra, but sometimes you can be comfortable just bringing them to the third eye. So we breathe through our nostrils in an alternating fashion. So the biggest key to this is we're going to plug one side of the nose and breathe in the other, but the switch comes at the peak of the inhale, which doesn't seem natural. It seems kind of counterintuitive. So that's when the breath changes. Now notice right now before we start, just take a couple breaths. You can plug one side and the other, and just notice the patency of the pathway for your breath. Remembering that the left side is the feminine, the yin, the earthy energy. The right side is the masculine, the yang, the more active energy. Okay, so I want you to take a big breath in, nothing, no hands on the face. Then open the mouth and let it go. We're going to take 2 more cleansing breaths. One more. Now I'll start with the mudra, but I'll probably change. I'm going to put the 2 fingers at the third eye. Take a big breath in. Now take your thumb and close the right nostril. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Hold there, take the fingers and plug off the left, and exhale through the right. Nice slow breath. Inhale through the right. Block off the right. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Block off the left. Exhale through the right. Inhale right. Block off the right. Exhale left. We'll do 3 more rounds. Inhale through the left. Block off the left. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Block off the right. Exhale through the left. 1 more round. Inhale through the left. Block off the left. Exhale through the right. And then release the fingers, bring the hands back down to a comfortable position. Just pause and notice. Maybe you notice a difference in the patency of the nostrils. Maybe you don't. And we can do this, we call it virtual Nadi Shogna. And maybe we'll do that during Savasana, where all you have to do is think this process, which is what I usually do because of the tremor that I have on my hand. I like Nadi Shogna, but then I get distracted by the tremor. Notice throughout your day to day, notice the patency in the nostrils, and notice that the body automatically shifts things around according to what it perceives your needs to be as far as energy, a fiery yang energy or a quiet yin energy, but you have control too. So Nadi Shogna is a way that you can bring balance. Meet me on the mat. Come into child's pose. So we're moving into a quieter season, an inward sort of reaching season. Summer is more young and more active, and now the wheel is turning and we're turning more inward. And you can see that when you look around at nature, things are kind of dying back, becoming dormant. Leaves are falling to the earth to be recycled, regenerated, just like our energy can be released to the earth to be recycled and regenerated. And there's times that we need to turn inward. So on your next inhale, let's rise up, find table. And as you exhale, come into cat back. And inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Feel that inward turn as you exhale. Inhale, cow. As you exhale, cat, sit back in child's again. Inhale, swoop the chest forward, rise up into cow. So we'll flow through this. Exhaling, cat, sit back. Inhaling, rise up. So a snake-like movement of the body. So the 2 nadis that exit the body through the nostrils are called Ida and Pingala. And Ida is the more feminine, introverted energy. Pingala is the yang, active, solar energy. And they snake up and down the spine, the Sushumna. Like DNA, like a double helix. Look. Let's do 1 more each way, and this snake-like movement through the spine helps to free that energy out. Open up those nadis. Last one. Now tuck your toes and let's come up into down dog. And of course we'll take a couple good breaths here, 2, 3, 4, 5 breaths to stretch and wake up. So remember, there's 72,000 nadis in the body. And yes, there's diagrams. Now come to stillness here. Find your down dog. We're going to ripple, kind of like we did with our cat, cow, and table. We're going to ripple between plank and down dog. So reach between I'm going to tuck my chin and reach between the shoulder blades. Come forward into plank. And then ripple back up. Try to find some wave-like motion of the spine. And the knees can bend and straighten.
Just find a way to move that's more snaky between plank and down dog. Picturing those nadis up and down the spine, twisting and snaking their way. And exiting the body through the nostrils. Now come to stillness here. Now swing your right leg up and bend the knee, and we're going to open the hip, rotate through the right ankle. Now step the foot forward between the hands, and we're in a lunge now. Blocks could be nice. We're going to stay folded forward in this lunge. So my legs are on railroad tracks. I'm just going to go back and forth between my lunge and then straightening the front leg and reaching that heel a little further down towards the mat. So the side camera might help. I'm going to lunge to more of a pyramid. Try to keep the knee over the ankle. If you feel like you can go deeper, you can kick that back foot back. Really kind of working into splits. We won't go to splits unless you want to. You go right ahead. I used to be able to do the splits. That was a long time ago. And really start sinking those hips down as you come forward. Nice slow movement in the hips. We'll do 3 more. One more after this. Now come into your lunge. Take both of the blocks to the inside of your right foot. And we're going to heel toe the right foot to the right. Externally rotate the toes. You can even open the knee. Really sink down into the hips here. And you can stay with the hands on the blocks. Bring the hands to the mat. I like to work my way out into this lizard pose by walking the hands forward and then coming to the forearms. Blocks underneath the forearms could be good. Really deep hip stretch. You can rock a little bit on the ball of the foot, forward and back. Breathe. Stay strong in the shoulders. Three more breaths here. Now bring the hands to the mat along the inside of the right foot. I'm going to step forward with my left foot to the outside of the left hand. So I'm going to arrive in Malasana. Nice deep squat. You may have to wiggle your way down into this. And then bring the hands to heart. And with the hands together, press the upper arms into the knees, resist with the knees, and push those hands down anyhow. And feel how that just automatically brings length to the spine. And breathe. Nice deep hip openers today. Two more breaths here. We'll hold poses a little more. Getting quieter, more inward energy. And then bring the hands to the mat, and I'm up on the balls of my feet, and I'm just going to lift my hips coming into a wide forward fold. Bend your knees a little bit here, and we'll play with the hamstrings a bit. So straighten the legs, lift halfway, and then soften a bit. You'll feel that stretch in the hamstrings. Just gently nudge the hamstrings. Now bend your knees a bit, grab opposite elbows, and we'll sway a little side to side. And then drop those arms, bend the knees, head hangs, we'll roll up one vertebrae at a time. Bring the feet underneath the hips. Ooh, the daylight's out there now. Inhale up.
reach. And exhale, bring the hands back home to the heart. Pause and notice. Notice nostrils. Notice patency or lack of patency through the nostrils. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold. Lifting halfway on your inhale. As you exhale, step back and plank. You're going to come to the belly and walk your hands wide. Keep them in line with your armpits, but wide, and come to that eagle talon mudra with the hands. Bring the forehead down. Tops of the feet and all 10 toes press into the mat. Draw your navel towards your spine. Inhale, lift. And come up gently. The first couple times we're going to do 5, and maybe you come up a little higher the last 3. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. That snaky, rolling wave-like movement of the spine. 2 more for me. And as you come down, slide the hands by the armpits now. We're going to lift into a down dog. So pop up there. Let's snake back and forth between plank and down dog. So ripple through the spine. Maybe the hips sink a little lower this time. Find a wave-like movement that works in your body. Thinking about opening up those channels, the nadis, freeing up both kinds of energy. We need both. 1 more. And back to down dog. Swinging the left leg back and up. Bend your knee, stack your hips, maybe circle through the left ankle. Now step the left foot forward between the hands. Blocks are helpful. I tossed them out of the way so you could see what I was doing. That meant I had to reach quite a ways. Okay, so I'm going to use them as extensions of the hands. I'm in a lunge position. I'm going to straighten the front leg and exhale, bend into the front leg. Straighten and bend. Now, as you start to loosen the hips up, don't allow that left knee to go forward over the toes. If you wanted a little deeper, hop back on that right foot. You can sink your hips lower. We'll do 3 more. Here's number 1. So kind of a pyramid to a lunge. That was 2. And 3. Now take the blocks to the inside of the left foot, heel toe. Open it up. Turn the toes outward. I'm going to sink my hips down and then decide what you want to do with your arms. I like to walk forward because you can just stop. Or you can bring forearms to the mat or to blocks. Now my right foot's back, so I'm on the ball of the foot. You can kind of push forward and back. Let that left knee drop out a bit. Sink into the hips and then find stillness. Two more breaths. Notice your nostrils. And bring the hands back to the mat. We're going to step up in that squat, Malasana. So I'm bringing my right foot to the outside of my right hand and arriving in a squat. If squatting deep doesn't work, you can always come up into a high squat. The hips are opening now. Find your way into this and notice my hips are lots more open
Try to bring the soles of the feet to the ground if you can. And if you can't, it's best if you bring a blanket, something underneath your heels. Long spine. And breathe. Now let's take a twist here. I'm going to take my left hand and reach way out here. Take the right hand to the right knee, push down, and maybe even swing that right arm behind you, taking that half bind. And breathe. So twisting is another way to turn the focus inward. Come back to center. Pause and notice. And take the right hand way out there. So I'm bringing my armpit right up to the knee. Take left hand to the left knee. Maybe even swing that hand behind you. Use the back of the hand to open the left heart. Left side of the chest. Breathe. And just for kicks, see if you can take your right hand now around and find Ganesh Mudra. So I'll bind. I didn't do that on the other side. Maybe we'll repeat. Let's try that on the other side. So I'm way out here. I take the half bind and I reach around and I clasp my fingers together. Now bring both hands forward. We're going to lift the sit bones up, arriving in a wide forward fold. Heel toe the feet under the hips. Bend the knees, let the arms hang. Let the head hang. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. Inhale the arms up. And exhale right down the center of the body. So the equinox reflects balance, daylight hours, nighttime hours. So let's do a little balance. We'll start on the right leg, so shifting the weight to the right. Let's come into a tree pose for Xasana. Decide where you want to place your foot. Maybe give yourself a little challenge today. And wherever the foot is, push the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot. And then grow up through the crown of the head. Reach down through the sole of that supporting foot. Breathe up and down the center of the body. Notice the breath in the nostrils. Remembering that prana, life force energy, rides on the breath. Let's add a little movement to our tree. So kind of reflecting what's going on now. Bring the hands up the center of the body. And then the arms come out and down like the leaves that are starting to fall from the tree. Ooh, watch me fall. Inhale up. And exhale down. 3 more. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more. Now keep your arms wide. We're going to bring the knee forward and come into a standing number 4. Keeping the left ankle flexed, left foot flexed. The ankle is past the right thigh. You may stay here or you may start to fold forward, turn more inward, come into temple dancer. Root down through that standing foot. And then inhale, rise up. Take your left foot forward, point, and then back to mountain pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands right down the center of the body. Let's take the second side. Shifting to the left foot, come up on the right big toe, and then open. Decide where you want to put that foot. And balance can be very different, left and right, different day to day.
This time we'll do Fountain of Youth with the hands. So backs of the hands come together. As you inhale, the hands rise up like a fountain. Turn the palms to face outward, fingers spread wide like the water. Exhale down. 4 more. Inhale. And exhale. 3 more. Wide, knee forward, and then we're gonna open into a number 4. Maybe temple dancer as you fold. Root down through that left foot. And then inhale, rise. Point the toe and come back to mountain pose. Walk it out a little bit. Well, standing legs have some work to do when we balance. Exhale, fold. Lifting halfway. Exhale, fold. Come to the belly, and we're going to arrive in Superman. Bring those arms out long. Reach as far as you can with the fingers, as far as you can with the toes, and then roll up onto the right side. Get as narrow as you can here. Challenge your balance. Rest your head on your right arm. Now bend the left knee and bring the heel towards your butt. Reach back there for your ankle. Open your left shoulder. Bring that left shoulder blade towards your spine. Now push the knee away. Pull the heel closer, but push the foot into the hand at the same time. A little isometric contraction, a nice stretch in the front of the thigh. Release and bring that top foot to the inner thigh. So now we're going to do a fallen tree. So just like our tree that we did while we were standing, this time we're on our side. Challenge your balance here. Maybe you bring the left arm up by the head. And then lift your head and cradle your head in your right hand. I'm going to take the left hand to the left knee and pull the knee towards my armpit, towards my chest. Flexing the foot, you can stay there or maybe reach down, lasso your big toe, and extend the leg up long. And breathe. Now release. Roll onto the belly, find Superman, and go to the other side. I think I just lost my microphone. I did. So laying on your left side, get nice and long, and challenge the balance just by laying on your side. Then bend the right knee, reach back there for your ankle, open your right chest, draw the right shoulder blade towards the spine. Push the knee away from you like you're trying to push it onto the wall across the room. Now push your foot into your hand and pull your hand into your foot. Stretch through the front of the thigh. Now opening into fallen tree. That foot can go anywhere. And then challenge your balance here by maybe bringing the right arm up by your head. Now lifting the head, take the head in the left hand. Right knee towards armpit, you can support it with your hand. Maybe reach out for the right big toe with the peace sign fingers and straighten the leg. And then release and find crocodile. Stacking the hands, separating the legs, bringing the forehead to the back of the hand, bending the knees. I gotta look out for my furniture here, and windshield wipering the shins. Bring those shins down and notice the breath. Notice the path of the breath in the left and right nostrils.
2 more breaths here. And then meet me in Dandasana. So come up to a seated position, legs out long in front of you. I'm going to lean back. My hands are spread, wrists under shoulders. Feet are flexed, leaning back, bending the elbows so the spine can be neutral. And then pushing into the hands as I lift up onto my sit bones, supporting the weight, some of the weight of my torso on my hands. So arriving on the sit bones with a very light feeling. Bend your knees a bit if you need to. So we're in Dandasana. Now we're going to reach up on the inhale. On an exhale, fold at the hips, reaching forward. Paschimottanasana. Take whatever your hands land on, your toes, your shins. Keep your pelvis tilting forward as you fold at the hip creases. And use this opportunity to pull a bit with the hands. 2 more breaths here. And then inhale, excuse me, back up onto the sit bones. We're going to bend the right knee. Bring the sole of the foot to the mat. Keep the left foot flexed. I've got a little space between the right foot and the left thigh. Now I'm going to come up on those sit bones again like I want to stand up on this right foot. Take your left arm, wrap it around your knee, and maybe you keep your hands like this. Stay up on the sit bones. Maybe you want to take the hand behind you. Keep the hand close to the hip, press down in the hand. Let that help you lift and lengthen, and then twist. So twisting, turning inward, like everything out there in the world is doing right now, up here in the Northern Hemisphere. The Southern Hemisphere, it's doing the opposite. It's coming up and out, reaching outward. Up here, everything's inward. And then unwinding, take the left leg, bring it a little past the midline, cross the right foot over top, sit tall. Maybe this is where you want to stay, or maybe you'd like to twist this as well. Now unwind. Keep the legs like this. Take the hands, turn to the left. I'm going to roll up on the left hip, making room to bend the left knee, bringing the right heel close. And when I arrive in this, I always have to kind of shift around. I can feel my hamstrings kind of hanging up on the sit bones. And if I move a little bit, that doesn't stay that way. So you can stay here, or you can twist this one. Keep the thigh close. Breathe deeply into the belly. Now unwind and see if you can stack the knees now. So coming into cow face pose, Gomukasana. So my knees are stacked. If this isn't good for your hips and legs, you can always come into Sukhasana. We always start in Sukhasana, crisscross applesauce. So first I want you to take the peace sign fingers and lasso your big toes. Sit nice and tall. And then exhale, fold forward here. Now bring your hands behind you, lace the fingers, and lift those knuckles. On your next inhale, rise up. Keep the legs just like they are. Bring the right arm out, thumb up, and then bend and bring the hand behind your back, like you're patting yourself on the back. You can take the left hand and kind of help the arm, that upper arm bone, the humerus, settle into the shoulder socket. And then take the left arm, thumb down, bend at the elbow, and maybe you can reach the fingertips and touch, maybe even taking Ganesh Mudra. But if you can't touch, no big deal. Just grab hold of your clothing.
cow face pose, Gomukasana. And on your next inhale, unwind everything. Take the hands behind you, undo the legs. Finding Dandasana again, that same bend in the elbows. On an inhale, lift up nice and light. Exhale, fold forward, Paschimottanasana. Keep the pelvis tilted forward. Pull. And inhale, rise up. Let's bend the left knee, sole of the left foot to the mat. Come up on the sit bones. Let's take our twist. Inhale, sitting up. Exhale, twisting, keeping the thigh close to the belly. Breathe into the belly. Push the belly into the thigh. Notice the nostrils. Oftentimes at the beginning of your yoga practice, if you remember to take a little inventory, one side or the other will be more blocked. And at the end of your yoga practice, there'll be a balance. It's just kind of open things up. So just notice if that happens in your body. Now unwind, we're going to take the right leg a little past midline, left foot over, come up on the sit bones again, and twist. Unwind. Now we're going to take the hands to the right, roll onto the right hip, bend the right knee, bring the heel close, sit up tall, work your way into this. So the left sit bone might not bear equal weight in this one. It may even be lifted a bit, but reach in that direction. And you can twist this one as well. Notice the twist in the shoulders. So bring that left shoulder back as the right shoulder's coming forward. So the shoulder blades are doing opposite directions. So the right shoulder blade is wrapping forward, protracting, as the left shoulder blade is reaching towards the spine, retracting. Unwind, come into cow face. So try to stack the knees. And again, Sukhasana is fine here. Lasso your big toes with your peace sign fingers. Sit nice and tall, maybe even a bit of a back bend before you fold forward. Now just reach behind you and take opposite elbows. Let your shoulders drop forward. I've got my third eye resting on my knee. And then inhale, rise up. Reach out with the left arm, thumb up. Reach way up, bend at the elbow, pat yourself on the back. You can kind of stretch through the tricep muscle here by helping it with your right hand. Now take your right hand, thumb down like a scarecrow, reach behind. Maybe you can link your fingers, but if not, no big deal. Just don't let this top arm push the head forward, sit tall. If you need to open that elbow out a little bit to make room for a nice long cervical spine, do that. And breathe into this. And then unwinding, take the hands behind you. Unwind to a wide-legged stance, Upavista Konasana. So dig the heels into the floor, bend the knees, let that pull the pelvis, tip it forward. Now keep that and roll on the heels so the toes come inward. Sit tall here as you exhale, fold forward. You can reach out for your toes if you like. And once you've come down as far as you should, then rotate on the heels so the toes point up. You can even give those toes a little outward push, so a little external rotation. And deepen that stretch in the adductor muscles, the inner thighs. And then just let go. A block can be nice here for the forehead. Just releasing into this. Turning inward. And inhale, rising up.
Bend both knees, bring the soles of the feet together. Upavista Konasana, I'm going to lift my hips and shift my hips forward. Take your ankles, pull on the ankles again, the pelvis tips forward, and then a little side to side rock on the sit bones. Sometimes we'll open up the hips a little bit. And from here, if you have the space to fold forward in this, feel free. This is another one that a block under the forehead can feel nice, but this can be a very tight pose for a lot of people too. So just honor where you're at. And then rise up, extend the right leg out long. I'm going to lift the left ankle, place it on top of the right thigh. We'll do a seated number 4 now. Hips should be nice and open. I'm going to slide the right foot to the mat, and then you decide how deep you want to take this. And unwind, take the second side. Now the left foot comes to the mat. And then unwind. Now come to your back. And keep your knees bent, feet on the mat, feet hip distance apart. My arms are out on the floor. I'm going to draw my knees to my chest, swing my hips up off the floor to the right. So lift, swing. Now drop your knees to the left. See if you can keep the arms and the shoulders on the floor. And if you can't, if this right shoulder is just hanging out here, don't let that happen. Shorten your lever and bring your hand to your hip or even up to the shoulder. If you want a little more stretch in that right side, bring the right arm up by the ear. Back to another twist. And bring your arm back, and we're going to lift the knees and shift so the spine is in the middle of the mat again. Pause here and just notice. And then lift your hips to the left and take your knees to the right. See if you can keep the knees stacked and the shoulders on the floor. If you want a little more stretch on the left side, swing the left arm up by the ear. So turning inward, let's come back to the center. So swing. Let's come into a happy baby before we shift into our Savasana. Hips should be nice and lubricated, open. Come into a nice deep happy baby. If that works for you, you can rock a little across the spine. Play with those nice open hip muscles now. And then come to stillness. Breathe. So finding your way to your position for Savasana, I'm going to sit up, but I'll talk you through a virtual Nadi Shogna. So that same breath practice, same pranayama practice we did at the beginning, but just virtually. So you're just thinking it. Settling into stillness. Take a nice deep inhale. Open the mouth and let it go. One more time like that. Now this time, inhale through the left nostril. Just think about the left nostril only. Pause at the top. Exhale through the right. Pause at the bottom. Inhale through the right. Pause at the top.
Shift your awareness to the left. Exhale through the left. Pause at the bottom. Inhale through the left. Pause at the top. Shift your awareness to the right. Exhale through the right. Keep going if you're enjoying this breath practice. Let it go if you're not. Resting here for a moment of stillness. If you're still practicing virtual Nadi Shogna, release that. Allow the breath to return to its natural state. And begin to move the body in small ways. And in your own time and in your own way, find your way back to a seated position. And once you arrive, notice the nostrils. Similarities, differences, just notice what's there. What are you finding? So in terms of our nervous system, the left side, the left nostril, stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, the relaxation response. And the right nostril stimulates the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight. So there's science behind all of these ancient practices. It's fun to just pay attention and notice and know that your body changes that throughout the day based on what it perceives your needs are. Now, sometimes we don't have the right perception, and you can notice and maybe use that breath practice to bring a little calm to the situation or bring a little more engagement to a situation. Let's reach up one more time together. It's very still out there. Oh, I wish it would rain. And exhale. Bring the hands home to the heart, right down the center of the body, the Sushumna. May you have peaceful thoughts, peaceful words, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful world. Namaste. Thank you. See you Wednesday, 7 a.m. I had some technical trouble last week. And then Friday, 7 a.m. for another yoga class. Have a great week.